What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Tail of the Tape. I'm Rob, just waiting on Drizzy J. You guys know the deal. We're going to get into boxing news and UFC Vegas 3 recap for you. Let's go. Hope everyone enjoyed the fights and had a good weekend. I know I did. Stayed high, enjoyed it. So just give us a few minutes and we'll get started for you. Here he is, the man, the myth, the legend, Drizzy Dre.
What's up,
What's up,
bro?
my guy? Nothing, bro. Got the AirPods in today. Changed out the
I
mic.
see that. I see that.
Yeah,
You
bro.
know, it's all about sound quality.
Holding the mic in an iPad and trying to read shit is too much of a hassle, dude. So
That's yeah, that's
had to switch it
that's a
up.
whole team.
Yes,
You were
sir.
you were doing work of a whole team, man. How you doing?
Good, dude. How are you? How was training
Fucking
and shit going?
training's good. It's I wouldn't say going slow, but I'm headed out to LA Wednesday to
Yeah,
train
man.
with a couple of decent names out there. So I'm looking forward to it.
That'll be
July
sick,
is
dude.
definitely fight time.
Hell yeah, it's coming, baby. But
Yes,
yeah, dude, I
sir.
wish I could make it out there with you, but we'll
Oh, no
figure it out.
worries.
We'll figure it out,
You'll
dude.
catch me there again.
Hell
That's
yeah,
not even an issue whatsoever.
for sure.
Um, Especially when I got fights out there, that's the best time to go.
Hell yeah.
That's the best time. You already know
So
that.
I know you got some shit on your mind, bro. So what's up?
Oh no, no, I wouldn't say on my mind. I just been reading a good amount of stuff in the combat sports realm.
Yeah, yeah.
I read a funny article. I'm trying to pull it up right now on my computer about this promoter, quote unquote promoter. He's based out of LA. He claims he's a fight promoter, and he's got something. I see. That's why I'm trying to pull it up because I'm trying to pull up the name of his entertainment uh, LLC. But he supposedly contacted two professional boxers out in the Philippines
Oh shit.
and their trainer. So I think if I'm not mistaken, it was two fighters from the Philippines and their trainer together. So they were kind of a team. But this promoter out in LA supposedly tried to bring him out. So he did and promised them fights. You know the situation. I mean, they do that a lot with a lot of Asian fighters, especially in the Philippines. They try to bring them over. So this guy told him, promised them all this stuff, and now the fighters and that coach, the three individuals that he brought down from or brought over from the Philippines, are taking him to court because he supposedly made them into their domestic laborers at his property and used him to work at one of his cannabis businesses.
What the
His
fuck, dude?
dispensary is called the Broccoli House. That's what I know of. So this dude that owns the Broccoli House out in LA, that's
Oh
it. By the
shit.
way, I'm not gonna lie, that's kind of a cool name for a
It
dispensary.
is.
So I got
That's
to give
sick.
him credit for that. I'll give him credit for that. But this guy, this supposed businessman, did that and falsely promised these guys some fights. That shit I'd say is hilarious, but as a fighter, man, I would fucking be so heated. I feel for those guys, man, for those two fighters out there. Uh, that's unfortunate, but man,
Yeah, that's absolutely
imagine
terrible,
that.
dude. That's so fucked.
Imagine like, oh, you're gonna fight, but here in the meantime, do my laundry and oh, by the way, work at my dispensary, would you?
Yeah, fuck that shit.
Oh
It's like
my goodness, dude.
I'd be punching that
Wow.
motherfucker instead.
Oh man, for real. Oh man, I got to get the details on it. I'm sure people already, if they've tuned in and they found out about it. Yeah, so that's pretty much what's going on. That was something that really caught my attention. Other than that, fuck. I mean, we got some fights this week, man. We got
Yeah,
some
we
more
do,
top
bro.
rank. So UFC's coming up again, right?
Yeah, they got some fights this weekend, but we'll get into that later. I kind of wanted to talk about this past weekend because I know you caught a couple of them, right?
Yeah, yeah. I caught a couple of the UFC bouts on there, and then I watched a little bit of the top rank. But the one on top rank didn't really excite me too much. But yeah, the UFC, we can definitely talk about that, bro.
Yeah, dude. Let's
What
fucking do it.
dude, I saw Jim. This is what caught my attention. I had it on my had on ESPN Plus the prelims, and it was going.
Yeah,
And then all of a sudden, I hear they announced Jim Miller's name. I'm like, are you kidding me? Jim
yeah, bro.
Miller? I was like, this. How is this guy still fighting? It's crazy, and he won. He came out with the W, dude.
Yeah,
That
bro. He did.
that was
Fucking
crazy.
armbar.
Yeah,
within like what 40 seconds or something.
yeah,
Literally just,
fucking
I think it was
grinded
a
it
right
out.
hand, right? Right
Yeah,
hand clipped him down, and he fucking hopped
grinded
on
it
the
out.
armbar.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Shit.
That's crazy. I was so surprised too, and the guy he was fighting wasn't, was somewhat of a young guy, up and coming. I mean, I didn't really know too much of his opponent,
Yeah,
but
Roosevelt Roberts.
yeah. But how about that bout? How about the bout before it, man? Fucking, let's see, it was Green and fucking Guida, bro.
Oh, Green and Guida,
There's
bro.
another ageless wonder we need to talk about, man. Since we're on the topic of ageless wonders, man, Guida,
Yeah, he's a Hall
fuck.
of Famer, man.
I honestly thought that he could have really got the win on that one. I thought that his output and the way he would brawl would be enough, but I mean, Green, he's got some slick boxing, man. You notice that?
Yeah, dude, he threw 90 total strikes to Guida's 27, and 85 of them were
Yeah,
significant. So his boxing is
yeah,
outrageous, bro.
dude. His jabs, you notice that? I
Yeah,
was
they
I
were
was
nasty.
enjoying watching that fight because yeah, he was jabbing from awkward, like he had his hands down. I mean, he looked like a real boxer in there. It was crazy.
Yeah, no
I was
fucking
I
fear,
was
dude.
actually
Hands
enjoying.
down.
That was the fight I enjoyed. Yep, I enjoyed watching that
Yeah, it
because
was a good one.
he was keeping Guida's high I guess you can say his normal high output at bay. He wasn't letting him get into them crazy exchanges like he normally does. So
Right.
that was a fun one to watch. And then I actually skipped all the way after the fucking Miller fight, and then I waited for the main event. So I catched a little bit of the Blades fight, man. He definitely did what he said he was going to. He ragdolled the fuck out of that man,
He did,
and
dude.
which is, I mean, not to skip all the way to the end, but that it looked like a knee at first, but it was the head kick that he kind of lunged at, or I guess you can say leaned into at the time, and man, what a shocking way to end, because that could have changed immediately.
Oh,
That's the
yeah,
thing
dude.
about UFC, man. The difference between boxing. I know boxing, they say one punch makes a difference, but UFC, really, that's the truth. One punch or one kick or one elbow. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah, dude.
I saw
So,
that. I was like, whoa.
so you didn't see Josh Emmett and Shane Burgos, bro? You missed that
No, I
one?
saw I saw highlights. I saw it because I was running around the
Ooh.
house doing some stuff, but I heard about Emmett. I heard about that fight, man. It was some exchanges I saw on the highlights when I was watching on ESPN.
The man literally shattered his leg within the first 30 seconds. Tore his
Who, Emmett?
ACL, tore his MCL, tore a whole bunch of shit.
He's an older fighter
Went
too, man.
went through all 3 rounds and pulled out the fucking decision win, dude. And that was fight of the night. It was insane.
That's crazy. Yeah, I know. And he came out with the fucking decision, and I saw how bloody he was, man. I mean, that was a pretty brutal fight.
Yeah, bro. In
That was a
total,
brutal
there
one.
were like 250 total strikes thrown. 270? Yeah,
Oh, from
280
from both guys combined.
combined. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's crazy. Emmett, fuck, man. Emmett's been around for a while in the UFC, dude. Dude, they brought back a lot of older cats on that card.
Yeah, they
That was
did.
an
They're trying to
interesting
give him
one.
a name.
That was an
Trying to.
interesting one, man.
That was the ultimate gatekeeper test, I guess.
Yeah, but where does he go from there? That's the question.
I don't know. That's
Where
the
does
thing.
what I mean? The guy,
He's
like,
number 8, so let's see.
he's number 8. I mean,
Number 8 in featherweight.
that's a fucking
So I
to
mean, I'm pretty
be.
sure he wants to fight up. So Frankie Edgar's ahead of him, Calvin Cater's, but Calvin Cater's about to fight. Fuck, who's he fighting? God damn it, Dan Ige, I
Frankie
believe.
Edgar, man. I
Yeah,
thought he
Frankie
was
Edgar's.
I thought he was done. These names are like shocking to me, man. I feel like I'm back at 2010 or 2009, man, playing UFC, the first UFC game or something.
For real, dude. All these
Fucking
old cats.
these names, man. These names are fucking shocking. Frankie Edgar, what was his last bout?
Frankie Edgar's.
Yeah.
His last out was against Chan Sung Jung, the Korean zombie, and he got
Oh
knocked
yeah,
out in the first round. It was back in December.
against the Korean Zombie, man. He's a stiff one.
Yeah,
He
he's
likes to
supposed to.
stand straight up and brawl.
That's his
That's
thing,
his
man. I
style.
love that dude.
He's been doing it since fucking '09. How is he still alive? He's amazing. Man, these names, man. Am I really watching UFC back in, or am I paying attention to UFC in 2020? Because these names are amazing.
Yeah, dude,
Fuck.
this is real shit.
So who's the next? What's the next card? Because I did see
This coming up
bits of
one?
that. Yeah, it's what, this weekend, or is it this Thursday or Friday?
Yeah, it's this Saturday. It's gonna be Dustin Poirier versus Dan Hooker and
Oh
Mickey Gall
yes.
versus fuck.
Yeah, this guy. I
What is
know
this
I know what you're
fucker?
talking about.
Mike Perry. That's
Fucking
his name.
platinum Mike Perry, bro. Don't you
Platinum,
forget.
bro.
Don't you
Yeah, we going
forget.
platinum.
Don't you forget that that's platinum Mike Perry. Fucking
That
one
is
of the
platinum Mike
goats.
Perry. He
One
is
of
a
the
goat, dude.
fucking goats, dude. Bro, I have you seen his Instagram? Have you gotten on his
Yeah,
Instagram lately?
yeah, dude. It's fucking wild.
It's hilarious, man. And like, fuck, dude, I go on his, of course, man, I'm fucking always on Instagram looking at fighter shit, dude. And I see his page and I like his grind, man. He's a grinder, but you look at him when he's striking or when he's on the bag or when he's doing shit, like it almost looks like he's purposely trying to look silly on there. Like he's literally learning how to hit a reflex bag. Like
Yeah,
that's my take at first as a fighter. Like that's what I'm looking at. I'm like, oh, he's just playing around. Like this looks fucking hilarious. And then you come to find out, like no, he's really training like that, and he holds his hands like that. And I see the comments, and it's a bunch of other pro MMA fighters, not UFC fighters, but guys like, in the lower leagues in the professional MMA situation, and dude, they're commenting on all his shit. They're like, "How is this guy an MMA fighter? Like, how is this guy fighting in the UFC?" Dude, that shit cracks me up. And I'm reading all this. I'm like, half of it's like, yeah, you're hating, you're hating the fuck out of this man, Mike Perry. But the other half of me is like, no, he really sucks. Like these videos kill me. As a pro fighter, I'm thinking like, okay, dude, I could totally fucking knock this dude out in the boxing ring. I mean, obviously, I never do the whole MMA comparison, but at the same time, it makes me laugh my ass off because this man, uh, dude, he had a pro boxing bout. He's 0-1 as a boxer.
Mike Perry is really. I didn't
Yeah,
know that.
he's 0-1, and he he doesn't brag about it, but he like spotlights it, and he fucking he's like, I'm 0-1 as a boxer, but as soon as I quit and went to MMA, I became 9-0 in MMA, and I was like, okay, well, fuck, you gotta respect the man's grind. You know
Right.
what I mean? But when you watch his bouts, Mike Perry, he gets into some exchanges, man. He stays in
Dude,
the pocket.
his last fight, his nose was totally fucking literally like twisted upside down, bro.
Who was
He
who was his opponent?
his last opponent was where's Mike Perry on here? Let me find this fool. Mike Perry's last fight, Jeff Neal. Do you remember him?
No, no,
No,
definitely not.
he's been
That
around for
ring
a while
that
too.
Jeff Neal.
It
Yeah,
was
that
back
name
in
doesn't ring a
December,
bell.
December 14th, and he got knocked out in the first round. I remember that fight because I was driving over to my friend's house and I watched him get knocked the fuck out driving down the street.
Oh, Mike Perry, man. Well,
He
who's
fired
he
his
fighting?
coaches, dude.
Why do you do that?
He
Is it
fired all his coaches, and now his girlfriend is his coach.
are you serious?
Dead ass, his girlfriend's going to be in his corner, and that's the only person
What?
that's going to be in his corner this weekend. He's fighting Dan Hooker.
Wait, what?
Yeah, dead ass serious, bro.
That's insane. Wait. You said Mike Perry's fighting Dan Hooker?
Yeah.
I thought. Oh yeah. Wait. I
No,
thought Dan
Mike
Hooker.
Perry, Mickey Gall. I'm sorry.
Yeah, because Hooker is fighting Poirier, right?
Poirier.
Yeah. Hey man, it's gonna be good watching the Diamond come back, dude. I've been a fan of his, man. He loves to box. He's a real good striker, man. He's got some textbook boxing in his game. I like watching him strike.
Yeah, I've been a fan of him since he fucked up Justin Gaethje.
Oh yeah, yeah, that's fun, man. What do you think about Gaethje, man? He's kind of a loudmouth, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. Yeah,
He talks a lot of
but
shit.
he
I mean,
talks a lot of shit. But I don't
yeah,
think he can back it up as well as much as he talks, man. He
no,
beat out
no,
Tony
no.
Ferguson, but I don't. Other than
I'm
that,
gonna
who is he? Like,
I'm gonna get in a lot of trouble for saying this.
don't impress me
Uh,
much.
yeah, and I agree. I'm with you on that 1,000%. But I'm gonna get reamed for saying this. Fucking the reason why you feel that way about Gaethje and how he's not really up to what his mouth is putting him out to be, is because we've seen it time and time again with guys like him, where they're amazing wrestlers, amazing ground specialists, and they come on like a good little win streak, and they beat a couple of notables, and then they start bragging, and then they start talking mad shit because they feel that they're on the top of their game, and but like I said, I'm gonna get in trouble for saying it, but most of them are the elite wrestlers of MMA, and they start to get on this hype train in their mind, and the next thing you know, they get taken down by a guy who's not only a much better striker, but ends up outstriking him and then taking him down to the ground and beating him on the ground. And we've seen it time and time again in the UFC in every weight class. Every weight class we have. I mean, DC, tell me that I'm wrong.
DC
I mean,
got beat up like that. I love DC.
Well,
He's a GOAT. But
okay, are you referring to John Jones? Are you referring to his John Jones bout? Because I mean, there's other bouts.
And Stipe. Stipe fucked him up.
Yeah,
that's what I was more referring to. But yeah, the John Jones ones too.
But yeah, then I mean, that's a good point, right? I mean, we've seen it time and time, and it's a hype train. Like, all respect, every fighter needs to be their own hype train. They need to be their own hype man. It's not to have a team of hype men is cool and all, but it can be distracting and you lose focus. But if you hype yourself up internally and appreciate yourself and obviously respect yourself in that way, then it's going to add more motivation and energy to your training. But there's only a certain amount you can do that in the UFC. When you start calling out a bunch of dudes and start literally sounding silly on all this fucking social media like he's been doing.
Right. I agree with you, dude. Yeah, he fucking went off on Joe Rogan's podcast like he was the fucking man. And I understand he's the interim champion, but you still have to fight Khabib, dude. Yeah, you still have to fight Khabib. Good luck.
Interim's the number one contender spot. That's what the interim title is.
Pretty much.
That's the glorified number one contender spot. That's what it is.
They're the belt holder while the champion can't fight. Literally.
Yeah,
I get it. They keep the division
interim champion. Every interim champion, any interim champion has had the big mouth moments. That comes with the territory.
Poirier did when he called out Khabib, and he got his ass fucking mauled.
There you go, man.
So that's why I want to see him come back. Yeah, he learned.
Yeah. But Poirier's cool, man. He's got the package.
I love that guy. He really does, dude. He's not well-rounded.
Exactly. Like, it's enjoyable watching a guy like that, especially in the lighter divisions like he is in featherweight, right? He's in featherweight?
No, I think he's
lightweight.
Yeah, he's lightweight.
Lightweight, okay. Yeah, I think he started at featherweight, right?
He did. He came up.
Yeah. But yeah, man, a guy in the lighter divisions, it's always fun to watch a more complete MMA fighter because you see some real good action. So what's his ranking right now? So if he wins this fight, what does that put him at?
Poirier?
Yeah. The diamond.
The diamond. Dog.
Fucking diamond.
My God. Dude, I commented on his shit. I told him to get a deal with Diamond Supply. And he said he's waiting on them to hit him up. Yeah, I think that would be sick.
That would be sick.
Hold up. I'm grabbing it right now. Poirier. Lightweight. He's number 3. So if he beats Dan Hooker, who's number 5, that'll keep him at the number 3 spot. So the Gaethje rematch is possible, or he could fight Tony Ferguson or Conor. But Conor retired apparently because Conor's number 4.
Conor's not retired. Conor's doing it for more publicity. He's doing the Floyd Mayweather.
I feel.
How many times Mayweather retired? A lot.
Yeah, many.
He
only wants money.
Yes, and that McGregor is the let's face facts here and let's sound as cliche as fucking possible, but McGregor is MMA's Mayweather. That's what it like personified. You know what I mean?
I agree with that. Yeah, for sure, 100%.
It's not that he's copying him, it's the fact that he's just going down that path. He's doing it in his own way because obviously he's a different type of character and a different package overall, but with the same type of weight to his name, man. And he's gonna, every time he announces something, every time he says something, it's just like when Floyd retired. Every time he had a big bout. I mean, I remembered he wanted to retire after the Cotto fight, and that, I believe that was the second time. And that's how McGregor is. McGregor is the same way. This is the second time McGregor has been claiming retirement, but there's nothing that's pointing to that. Like, he's not staying out of the radar. He still has his UFC rank.
Right.
I mean, look at Cejudo. Cejudo, from what I heard, Cejudo retired, and as soon as he retired, they took him off the rankings, right?
Yeah, they took the ranking rating.
It's a ploy. I mean, it's always a ploy, and Dana is the biggest fan of fucking Conor, man. So Dana's gonna be in on it. Come on,
Yeah.
dude. I
I
wouldn't.
think they did that to because they're pissed off at him. Not only did he hold up the flyweight division, now he
Yeah,
held up the bantamweight division on top of that. And the years after that, pretty fucked up.
yeah. I think the connection kind of broke out on that one, but yeah. Yeah, for real, bro. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Shout out to Ronnie
You're
Gabriel,
cutting,
fucking
you're cutting out on
NABF
me.
super middleweight
There we go.
champion. Can you see me?
Yeah, I can see you. What about the NABF middleweight champion, super middleweight?
Super middleweight, man. My boy Ronnie, he joined on this. Shout out to Ronnie out there in LA. I'll be training with you soon, buddy.
Oh shit,
He's the
what's up, dude?
man. Future world champion at 168. One of the most dangerous divisions on the planet, man.
That's fucking
Got to
dope.
see
We
him
should
come back. Speaking of
give
Mayweather,
him a little wave.
that's a money team. Yep, he's a money team fighter.
Shot him the wave, bro. That's sick.
Anyway, but yeah. So what were we saying? Yeah. So we were talking about
Hey, what's
Mayweather.
up, Ronnie? There he
Mayweather.
is. He's there.
There you go, my boy Ronnie.
Hell yeah, dude.
That's my boy. He's legit. I'm
That's cool
telling you,
stuff.
watch. Our sparring tapes are classified, so we can't put those out there. But I'll tell you what, Ronnie's a real killer. He is a future champ right there.
That's
That's my
cool as
boy.
hell, man. Thanks for tuning in, Ronnie. We appreciate it, man.
Yes, sir. I'll see you out in LA, out there with a couple of big names, my man.
Hell yeah, dude.
Anyway,
That's gonna be sick for you. I'm really excited for you to go
oh
out there, dude.
yeah, no, we'll definitely have to do the podcast out there. I'll have at least a guest or two out there to tune in with us. So, uh, obviously, we'll post these on YouTube, and you'll see more to come. But yeah, man, it's gonna be crazy. I'm not gonna give away who I'm gonna train with out there. All I'm gonna say is I'm training with Ronnie. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll see you out there in LA, broski. I see you training hard, man. I'm doing the same. I'm not. I'm at 163 right now. Shout out to the middleweight division, not the super middleweight. I'm middleweight. Yeah, but yeah, no, I'm not gonna give too many details until I'm out there. But definitely have a chance to train with some big names and get some good sparring in. I'll tell you what, not only myself but Ronnie and a lot of other big fighters. They're trying to get ready for July. July's fight time. That's for sure. Yup. We're all trying to get ready for July, man. Fucking that's when summer's hot, man. Summertime is when the fights come back, and thanks to the UFC and fucking Top Rank now, you're gonna start seeing other promotions, including the Money Team and Mayweather Promotions, put out some of their fights out in Vegas too. So stay tuned to that because it's gonna be a good summer of fights. It really is. Things are changing for the better, bro, because a month ago we didn't think that we were going to see any sports for the remainder of 2020. And
Right.
fight,
Yeah.
let's be honest, thanks to fighting, we have that.
True
Fighting
that.
fighting is people are going to respect the sport of combat, combat sports, MMA, boxing, hopefully K1 comes back or Glory Kickboxing comes back, but I'll tell you what, fighting is at the forefront. And I had a few big names in the fight game, not just fighters, but also promoters and matchmakers tell me a month back, oh shit, when honestly we were just starting quarantine and lockdowns, that fighting will bring sports back. Fighting is the only sport that honestly can uh, get on this type of platform, which is no attendees at an event, because it's going to be hard for football and basketball to have that kind of platform because it requires more energy to have a game. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
it's no disrespect to these other amazing super athletes that play basketball, and play football. But let's emphasize what I just said. Play. You don't play MMA. You don't
Nope.
play boxing. There's no playing. Even when we train, like when I go to training, when I go to sparring, like when I go to spar Ronnie and Ronald Gabriel and a few other bigger names out there, I'm not thinking I'm playing. Like I go into that training session thinking I better stay on top of my game, or else fucking I'm gonna get hurt.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no doubt.
That's my mindset. So
Oh
you know
shit!
it's
Sorry about that. Got
oh it's
firework.
cool. It's cool. Fucking I have my dog barking in the background if you heard that. Got a little Cavalier Spaniel. Well, anyway, but yeah, no, man. So yeah, you don't play it. So when it's not live, like when there's no spectators there live, it becomes it's a different atmosphere, man. It's a different atmosphere. I mean, we've all played team sports when we were younger. We know how it is, right? I mean, it's
Yep.
whether you played soccer, football, baseball, basketball. Um, when you play them, when you have a pee-wee game or a junior game and you have no spectators, it's a different type of energy. And then same goes with professional sports that you play. It's the same thing. You need that energy. But fighting, shit. If your coach is yelling in the corner, that's all you need. That's
Yeah.
all the excitement you need, dude.
Speaking of that, did you see the first fight on the
Which
prelims?
no, I don't think I caught the first bout. I think I caught it was one of the female fights.
Oh, you saw the Roxanne Modafferi and Lauren
There you
Murphy
go.
fight? Okay.
Yeah, so that must
The
have been
one,
like the second or third fight.
yeah, it was the one right before it. So just to go off coaches and shit like that, this guy, it was his first. He took the fight on 10 days notice. Is this
Yeah,
dude Max Roshkoff
yeah,
or some bullshit against Austin Hubbard? Austin Hubbard
yeah.
trains for Team Elevation up in Colorado.
Uh-huh.
So,
Team Elevation, man, it's a big team, man.
yep, they're getting big.
Dillashaw. Yep.
So fucking Austin Hubbard was piecing him up, 58 significant strikes at the end of the second round. This dude Max, whatever Roshkoff goes back to his stool,
Hmm.
bro. And do you know Robert Drysdale,
Oh
the
yes,
jiu-jitsu
yes, I
coach?
saw that. Yeah, I know Drysdale. Yeah, I know. He's out there. He has a gym out in Vegas.
Yep. So
Yeah, he's a jiu-jitsu world champion. Yeah. No, anyway, yeah, I saw that. Keep going.
the fighter, he was getting pieced up, bro. So he's like trying to get out of the fight, right? And his coach is like, "No, dude, you're a champion." Like trying to talk him into staying in the fight. And apparently that caused like a whole big controversy and shit. Like
Uh-huh.
personally, I see both sides. Like if the dude wants out of the fight, fine,
Hmm.
but you have to respect the coach for trying to keep him in, and don't give him shit for trying to like amp up his fighter and continue to go to the third round, bro. Like you made it to the fucking
Yeah.
UFC. Like get your ass out there and fight that shit,
Yeah.
bro. Like you weren't injured. Like you were fatigued and you were fucking scared. Like
Hmm.
he
Well,
could have pulled it out.
yeah,
Even if he lost, bro, it's better than quitting in the middle of the round.
that's true. All right. Well, let's break that down because what you're saying, as as a fan and as a fighter, I definitely uh, can agree with your take on it. But the I don't know too much about the fighter. I've never heard of
I,
him, never seen him.
neither have
I
I.
I don't know what's his experience record. What he is in MMA. I mean, I don't know how long he's been fighting the
Um,
UFC. If
Here
we
I
can
can tell
pull
you his
that up
record
real
right
quick,
now.
yeah, pull it up real quick.
Good. They don't even. I can't. Is that
That's
fool's name?
weird.
Find his name all the time. Max Rosh. Okay.
You found him.
All right. Tapology. Here we go. Here's his fighter page.
Okay, I'm
His
opening
pro
my
MMA
computer.
record is 5-1 now. He was 5-0 before this.
Okay. Well, I was just about to say that, and Can you see how many fights he's into the UFC, if that was his UFC debut or, his second or third one?
It was his debut.
It was his okay. So this is my opinion, and we can go on. I wish more people would tune in so they can actually give us their opinion, because this is kind of a hot topic from a professional and from a casual standpoint. Okay, so he's fairly new in MMA. A lot of guys that are in MMA that have a record like that, a lot of the times they don't have too many amateur bouts in MMA. There's really no like huge MMA league. There's a couple in Vegas. There's Tough Enough. But amateur MMA is not something that's of importance to the game. So when you see a guy who's 5-1 in MMA, unless he was like a kickboxer, like, Adesanya, someone that had different, or if he was a boxer, or if he was, a Muay Thai, professional Muay Thai fighter, a lot of them don't have any other fight records aside from, like, let's say, wrestling in high school or collegiate wrestling, right?
Right, and
So
that's what he was a wrestler.
he was a wrestler, so I'm sure he had wrestling, a wrestling record, but combat with strikes, he felt fatigued and he felt in a position where he's never felt before. Because I guarantee you that the first 6 bouts, or technically 5 bouts, because that was his 6th bout in MMA, right? That was his
Correct.
first loss.
Yep.
He probably fought in one of them local, small town leagues, or just obviously something not at the level of UFC. And he ran through 5 guys, built a good record, built a good momentum, and built some steam against the UFC. But he's never been in a position with that kind of pressure. That's point blank. You can do all the research you want, but at the end of the day, he's never fought anyone at that level, because it's the UFC. They matched him and they wanted him to prove himself. And what he felt, yeah, he might have not gotten as hurt or beat up as most guys would if they wanted to actually stay on the stool. I'm sure. I mean, I didn't watch anything outside the highlights of that bout, but I know that he was getting tagged up, he was getting worked.
Definitely.
But he wasn't in the right frame of mind to be fighting that. Like, a lot of the time, some of these guys don't make it onto the UFC until they've got 9, almost 10 bouts. And trust and believe, 4 to 5 bouts in MMA is going to make a massive world of difference, especially fighting at
Yeah.
What happened was he was in unfamiliar territory, and I mean, as a fighter, I've been in positions where I felt like I wasn't going to be able to make it through, another round, another 3-minute round, let alone a 5-minute round. You know what I mean?
Right.
He definitely felt like he was going to get knocked out, or he was going to get seriously hurt, because he was beyond fatigued. And when you're beyond fatigued as a fighter, you're susceptible, because it's not just your defense and how you feel if you can throw a punch. It's how you feel of dodging a punch, because a lot of the time when you're too fatigued, you can't anticipate the man. You can't see him. You lost your vision, if that makes sense. So he felt that he was literally incapable of doing anything with this man. He was honestly terrified to get knocked out, because he's got a clean record. He's got a 5-0 record. You know what I mean? Like, at the time it was 5-0. And as a youngster coming up in the UFC, like, that's your shining moment. That's your aha breakout moment. So I think he was scared of getting knocked the fuck out. And Drysdale, I'll get your opinion on it, but I've actually seen Robert a few times in person, and I've came through his gym because I know a couple of guys there. One of them is Chris Thompson. But he's a great, I mean, he's a veteran. He's a true fucking, he knows what he's doing. He's no coach that just came into the game and started coaching guys. Like, he's a true thoroughbred of a fighter. And I agree with you completely that he was trying to push his fighter to not be scared, to actually go the distance, and to go out on his shield. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
He really was. He really was.
Because getting knocked out is better than quitting.
Yeah, to a certain extent. Because
I mean, I've never stepped in the octagon.
Yeah,
Don't
it could
get
be
me
different.
wrong.
It could be different, my man.
If you make it in there, if I were to step in the fucking octagon, I wouldn't want to fucking quit, no matter what. Like,
But
because
listen, he was
I've
inexperienced.
only because I've worked my ass off to get to that point, and I know how many other people would want to be there, you know?
Yeah, I get it, and I respect that, and I as a fight fan, that's what I see. But as a fighter, it's different. He maybe I'm wrong. Maybe if anyone knows it, whoever watches this, on our channel on our YouTube, if you catch me saying this and you want to say something, please let us know. But he's fairly inexperienced. Maybe I'm wrong, and the league that he fought in before UFC was decent, maybe, or maybe it really wasn't. Like I said, it was one of them small town things where they build a guy up. It's like I said, Robbie. It's one of those examples of how MMA is going to start leading up to like boxing and building guys in these smaller leagues. You know what I
Right.
mean? They're going to
And
start
they're
building
buying them
guys.
up.
They're buying them up because UFC loves their fresh faces. Fresh
Yep.
faces keep the revenue, and the fact of the matter is, um, it's just one of those things where you know you're going to see a lot of inexperience. And hold on a minute. Let
Yeah, no
me
worries, dude.
pause. I'll be right back.
All right, bro.
Everything okay? What? What? What was on fire? What was? Where's Oma? What was on fire? What was on fire? This?
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. We're going to wrap it up there. Hope everybody has a good night. Like and subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Catch y'all next week. Peace.